there's a new sheriff in town, I guess.
You know what it reminds me? I want to get that shirt. I wish I still had it because I had it when I was younger, and it's from the Disney's Robin Hood movie, and it has
Where the Robin has a fox.
Yeah, it has the lion sucking his thumb with the crown and everything.
Oh,
and it says the fake king,
Richard,
fake king of, and it says the
Prince
fake
John.
king of, right? But it says the fake king of England underneath it, and I'm like, ooh, I need to get that shirt. I need to find that somewhere.
We fought a war to get out of rule under British thumb. You know, the fucking
why
red
should we have to
coats
care?
and everything. Like, why the fuck do we have to care? We threw their fucking tea in the harbor. You know, we defeated them. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. So my favorite. So we're only going to talk about
and stuff.
I mean, let's face it. We have to talk about it a little bit because it's fucking world news. And
no, I get it.
President's
stupid.
She's part of the Pentaveret. You guys know about the Pentaveret? It's the 5 richest families that control the world. That's made up of the Gettys, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Queen, and the Colonel before he went tits up.
I had an argument with my wife over this shit.
Oh, dude, Davos, bro. Just have her Google Davos.
Well, I was like, this is stupid. It's half mast. The president wants to put this shit at half mast. Places are doing half mast.
Yeah.
I was like, we fought a war to not have to worry about these fucking things. And she's like, but it's a sign of respect. I'm like, who gives a fuck about respect? We fought them in a war.
They don't respect the fucking Irish or the
exactly.
Indians or the Africans or any other fucking place they colonized and fucking raped.
Well, okay, we'll get into that because I don't give a shit about that. Like that. Like I give a shit about current oppression, right? Current oppression. Like if you're like, they have our diamond, I'm like, fuck your diamond. They won it like 100 years ago and it's theirs.
No,
and
but
if they want to give it back,
when you're still in Northern Ireland,
when you're
fuck
still
off.
correct. So this is where I wanted to. Okay, so let's back up. For those of you who don't know, welcome to the locker room. I'm Tom.
Wait, I'm Matthew.
I'm Chuck.
And I wanted to say to you, Chuck, just one thing.
There's a drug.
Still tastes fucking
prescribed.
Good.
Yeah, it still tastes good. In case you're wondering, still tastes good. Got the
tall
boy today.
Still does taste good.
Got a tall IPA.
So for those of you that have been on graveyard shift and your phone has been disconnected and none of your friends are connected to the internet and you go home to a Theodore Kaczynski style cabin in the wilderness of Montana, the Queen died. And by the Queen, I mean the Queen of England, not
RuPaul,
the Castigly or RuPaul or
RuPaul's still alive.
Right, RuPaul's still good. That's a much better joke than I had. Thank you.
Yes, bitch.
But we'll talk about this for a few minutes because Matt and I and Chuck all have, unlike Marco is like pure South American, like that. He is that, like you ask him what he is one thing. He is Venezuelan.
He is one thing.
Like, mom is Venezuelan, dad is Venezuelan. Like you have to go back to Spain and Mayans and Incas and shit to figure out what his heritage is beyond just Venezuelan, right? However,
like that, though,
I know it's cool. It's super dope. But
he probably has some Irish in him because my people shagged everybody.
Well, it is true. There were a couple of parties back in the day where
I've got a lot of
underwear backwards. Oh God, I said that to somebody the other day. I said, who's wearing their underwear backwards? And they looked at me like, what? I'm all, oh, sorry. That was our thing. And he's like, what? And I said, well, back in the day, we'd have a party and everybody get shit faced at my apartment and I wouldn't let anybody drive. They'd have to stay at my apartment. Like if you were shit faced, that's fine. Just crash anywhere you want. And he's like, oh, that's cool. And I was like, yeah. And then I would inevitably like walk into the room towards the end of the night as everybody's crashing out and be like, all right, which one of you bitches is wearing your underwear backwards? So anyway, so the Queen died and I have mixed feelings about it. I know Matt has mixed feelings. Well, your feelings aren't as mixed as mine.
Not as mixed. Yeah.
But when you're like have strong Scots Irish roots. Matt has Irish roots. I have Scottish and Irish roots, to the point where, like, when you do, I did the what's that? What's the fucking website that the Mormons run?
23andMe
Ancestry. Yes.
I did that
not fuck
shit too.
23andMe.
Did
You ain't
both.
getting my DNA without a warrant, but I did ancestry.com.
Yep.
And I found out through my aunt that, like, it only takes like 3 generations to go back. And you know what my last name is? Fuck you, Hennessy. Hennessy, bitches.
Nice.
Right. So when you have those roots, it, like, I understand when people talk about generational trauma, right? I don't, like, people say, oh, if you're white, you don't. Fuck you. Have you met an Irish person? They understand generational trauma, right? It does. You don't have to be from East India or from Africa or from, you know, some small fucking island nation that the British Navy colonized to understand generational trauma. The Irish have understood generational trauma through, like, almost 40 years of the Troubles, right? That shit is real. So what I loved, and we had this in our group chat, and I believe, Matt, you sent it, but I'm going to read it if that's okay with you.
Oh, have at it.
From the Irish Times: having a monarchy next door is like having a neighbor who's really into clowns and has dabbed their house with clown murals, displaying clown dolls in each window, and has an insatiable desire to hear about and discuss clown-related news stories. More specifically for the Irish, it's like having a neighbor who's really into clowns, but also your grandfather was murdered by a clown.
Yep. Pretty much.
So real quick, as we get into the death of not RuPaul, I mean, Irish Twitter blew up.
Oh yeah, it was going off.
First thing, like
first thing.
I love the fact that the first thing you see was, here we go, ... Like,
Yep.
the queen is dead. Here we go. Like, people knew. Like, I'm sure people had tweets saved, ready to go.
Just waiting to hit
The
send.
queen is dead. Boom, send.
Yeah.
Right. People had been writing these fucking things. They've been editing them, writing them, coming up with
one
captions.
of the, and I'll use the proper term, one of the football matches,
Right.
The Irish Rat, they were chanting, what was it? Queenie's in the box, like, out of joy, like, Queenie's in the box, Queenie's in the box.
Dude,
like,
I heard there was fireworks.
there were fireworks. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like independent, like July 4th.
Yeah. Not out of mourning for her passing, but out of celebration.
Right.
Yes.
So to say that the queen was popular in all of Ireland, the queen was popular in maybe the one section of Ireland, maybe, you know, geographically a part of Ireland that, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
well, they were even in Northern Ireland. There were fireworks being launched and stuff. So it's not like all of Northern
right,
Ireland.
not all
like,
of right, not all of Ireland.
Yeah.
But as we discuss the queen's death, like, there are so many layers to it. Okay, first of all the people that are like, oh, they took the Star of India or whatever the fuck, I don't know the name of the jewels, I just made that shit up. But, like, oh, they conquered a tribe and made the chief give over all the crown jewels when they conquered the tribe, and then they took them back to England and gave them to the queen, and she still has them. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
to the spoils,
like,
to the victor goes the spoils, right?
Right.
I mean,
like, I'm not sad about that. But when your people are still fucking being crushed under a boot heel to this day.
yeah, to this day.
Yeah.
Oh, see, you're allergic to this bullshit too.
I know,
Don't
right?
they have a part of South Africa too?
Actually, we should talk about that because Marco's not here. And the reason Marco's not here is that motherfucker got his first case of the Rona, as far as I know.
First known.
Well, if you had
First
what
known
I
case of
had,
the Rona.
the after you really find out you have it, that first day after you're like, oh fuck, I have it. It gets pretty rough, but it's like a really nasty flu.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this sucks really bad. But you don't want to do fucking dick.
So Mira, he's lying on the couch. Like, he could not sit in his hot ass sweat box of a garage that his wife exiles him to just do the podcast for an hour. So, Marco, we love you and feel better. And albondigas and tequila, my homie. So anyway, we talked about
part
this
of South Africa.
Who?
The British.
Well, they did. They had part of India. They had part of Africa. They had part of kind of everything at one point. We were the first. I think we were. Were we the first ones to tell them to fuck off and win?
Yeah, I believe
They
Right?
still
so.
have they still have like what people they still have a presence in South Africa, right?
Well, they
Or
have a
did
presence.
the
They have a
rebels run them
presence in
out?
Canada. They have a presence in Belize. They have a presence in Jamaica. They have a presence in a lot of places where, for example, Scotland is its own country.
Yeah.
But it's weird. So you have to understand that Great Britain is more than just England, right?
Yeah, it's the
Britain, the
United
United
Kingdom.
Kingdom. The United Kingdom is kind of like the United States. It's a bunch of territories that are allegiant to one ruler. In our case, it's a president, Congress, whatever. In their case, it's kind of like, the Queen. Well, like there's a bunch of people in Scotland calling for a republic now.
Yeah. Yep.
Like straight up, peace out, bitch. We're going for a republic now that we don't have to deal with your old ass. So as a generational Scotsman, as a generational Irishman, I get it, right? Like, I mean, fuck it. Like, who needs the American side of me tells the Scottish side of me, motherfuckers, you like 250 years late. You should have
Yeah.
dumped some tea into that shit a long time ago.
Get on with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only
So
got like a leaf and a half of that 4-leaf clover. I'm like 30 some odd percent, like 36%
that's enough.
Irish.
That's enough, dog.
That's enough. That's
That's enough.
enough to matter.
Yeah.
Um,
It's enough to be
but-
mad.
And what's trending on Twitter and has been, especially over there in the UK side, is our two hashtags, not my king and
Ooh.
abolish the monarchy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that too.
So I was kind of surprised. We talked about this because, okay, everybody who's listened to this long enough knows my mom is not from the United States. She's from Canada. She was raised in Canada during an era when the monarchy was a big fucking deal there.
Yeah.
Right. They were still like not under British rule, but like more allegiant to it than they when they declared full independence in like the 70s or whatever the fuck. And so she was raised to, be respectful of the Queen, and my grandparents were respectful of the Queen and all that shit. And honestly, like for an entire generation of people, the Queen took the throne like when my mom was 2, and my mom's in her 70s. She had a 70-year reign. I think she's the longest ruling monarch
She is
in England's
Yep.
history, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of that shit that happened was done on her watch, but wasn't necessarily a result of her. Like, Queen, how much power does the Queen really fucking
Yeah,
have
it
anymore?
was more of a
Mhm.
figurehead thing,
Okay.
but still
Yeah.
there were things done in the name of the crown,
Right. And she
that-
probably could have stopped a lot more than she did, but
or she could have even spoken out against it, which
spoken out
she
against it.
never
Which she
has.
never did.
To her
And
dying
she's always
day.
been like a kind of a diplomat, like,
Yeah.
it's cool.
It's like,
Like-
no, your fucking people shot 26 unarmed Irish protesters on a Sunday morning. Like, and you never once mentioned that. And that was in 1972.
Yeah, that was not like old news.
Yeah.
Right?
They call
Like,
that Bloody Sunday, people. Look
right.
it up.
U2 wrote a song about it, just
Yeah.
for the record.
They did.
And I'm not, hey, far be it from me to stick up for Bono. Okay.
Right.
I will
However,
never stick up for Bono in my, but I mean, old U2 there was 3 other people in the band and they weren't wrong a lot of the time.
Right.
So I to say my feelings about her conflict. Okay. So here's we can talk about it, but I look at it as it's the end of an era, right? So anytime a historic event, 9/11, bombing of Pearl Harbor, the execution of Ted Bundy, like you have these watershed events that some are national and some are global. This one happens to be global, right? And we can all like remember where we were when Michael Jackson died. We can all remember where we were when 9/11 happened. We can all remember where we were when the Challenger blew up. The British people really care about their monarchy. And one of the things I will give to the British for all the people, because I've seen a lot of people like giving them shit. Oh my God, you're mourning the death of this old lady. I did see a tweet that said, you know what? Leave the British alone. They're mourning the death of a woman who reigned for 70 years and tried to have some class and tried to be like, centrist and all this other shit. Say whatever you want about her. She didn't do anything specifically wrong to anybody. It was more of that passive silence, right?
Right.
And yet in the United States, we have fucking riots over the death of a dude who pointed a gun at a pregnant woman's stomach. So
yeah, there's that.
Y'all motherfuckers need to leave the Brits alone if they want to mourn an old lady who really never specifically harmed anyone with her hands. She really just harmed people emotionally with her silence. And I'll take harmed emotionally with her silence over pointed a gun at a pregnant woman's belly any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Let's be honest, right?
Right.
That's the side of me that's defensive of it's the end of an era. It is like kind of a big deal because you were there when, right? It's like the moon landing and shit, right? But at the same time, you can't ignore the fact that like she let Ireland get fucked over for her entire reign.
Right.
Scott, I mean, shit. The English have been fucking over the Scots since the 1200s.
Yeah, since Mel Gibson was running around with half a blue face.
And by the way, just so we're clear, yes, they weren't supposed to be wearing kilts in Braveheart. They weren't wearing kilts at that time period in history, but it was fucking cool. So shut up. The movie's awesome. Yeah. Moving on. Anyway, I don't know. I guess that's where my mixed emotions lie. It's kind of like, okay, I mourn the end of an era. I respect the fact that there are a ton of Brits. You know what's okay? Here's what's weird. You know who Ken Starr is? If I say Ken Starr's name,
I feel like I should.
You should. Yes. Ken Starr is the special prosecutor who investigated Clinton.
Oh yeah.
Ended up leading to the Monica Lewinsky scandal.
Right.
Okay. So he died. It was kind of overshadowed by,
a little bit,
the fucking Queen. A little bit. It was kind of like when Farrah Fawcett died and Michael Jackson had the fucking indecency to die a day later.
Right.
Bastard. Well, he died. Monica Lewinsky tweeted out that she ultimately understands that Ken Starr's death is really tragic for the people who loved him, which is a really polite way of saying, I don't give a fuck, but there are people that do. So
right.
And I understand, Ken Starr made her life a living hell during that whole Clinton thing. Right.
Yeah. But she kind of brought it on herself.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying she didn't. I'm just saying when you're 19 years old and you're sucking a, 40-year-old President Johnson and you think it's all going to be cool. And then some old dude who has a political, let's face it. He did have a political agenda.
Right.
And then he threatens your family and he threatens you with jail time and he threatens you with all this stuff. And then your friend who you were bitching to actually tape recorded your phone conversations and you're a fucking White House intern and you're all of a sudden in the middle of the national spotlight. Like that sucks for her.
Yeah.
I mean, on 2 counts, ding, ding.
I mean, how could you want to how could you get arrested for that? You just suck some dude's dick.
She didn't, his office. But she was going to get arrested for lying about it to the FBI or to the special prosecutor. However, my point is that when she tweeted out, like, I respect the fact that there are people who loved him and are sad that he's dead. It was a diplomatic way of saying, I'm not going to talk shit, but I'm letting you know I don't give a fuck that he's dead.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at with this Queen thing, where I'm like, I get this historic significance of her death and I respect it from a historical point of view. But the last time I had to give a shit about what happened to a British royal was 1776.
Yeah.
War against it.
I told a couple of people at work who were talking about it and they're like, well, how do you feel? And I said, well, look, I don't make it a habit out of dancing on anybody's grave, but I'm not going to mourn this.
No,
I'm not going to mourn this. There's nothing for me to mourn.
I'm eating popcorn at this point.
Yeah. I'm like,
right.
Yeah. Cool. Get out of my people's backyard now.
Right. Like if the Irish and the Scots want to keep the status quo, I'll be like, all right, you do you.
That's your shit. Yeah.
But if they want to be like, fuck the Queen, we're establishing a republic. I'm like, yeah, boys, I'm in.
Yeah.
We did that like 250 years ago. What do you need? I mean, we're
Well,
not
now
running
our-
it very well right now,
That's under
but-
attack now.
which it's actually is like we were talking about people getting fucking arrested at the goddamn funeral events.
Yeah, the procession.
Like
Oh, dude, that
this
guy
goes back
yelling.
to our Matt. You weren't here for this, but this goes back to our episode about. Were you here for the third world country thing?
No, but I listened to it. That was
Yeah.
last week.
Right, exactly. So this goes back to that discussion. If you think you don't live in a free country, think about the motherfucker, the poor motherfucker that's getting arrested in Scotland
Yeah.
or in Ireland or in England.
Yep. Just for voicing their opinion.
Yeah. So what was it
That's
he did?
ridiculous.
So it was in Scotland. It was as the funeral procession was going by with the coffin, and this young 22-year-old Scotsman took the opportunity when the crowd was eerily quiet and just very respectful and just in this, revered
Yeah.
silence,
Right.
to scream out to Prince Andrew, "Andrew, you're a sick old man."
It's kind of like when you're at the sporting event and it goes, or the land of the free, stop. And there's this pause over 30,000 people in the stadium. And one guy goes, I love you, Gina.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like, it was that kind of shenanigans, right? There was this one moment where you could say anything you want and everybody would hear you.
Yeah.
And God bless him. He went after Prince Andrew because fuck that pedophile.
Yep. And people were, saying, it's, time and a place. And I'm like, no, there, it's always a good time, no matter what the place is, to call out a pedophile for being a pedophile.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
always
No, it's
acceptable.
always- yes.
It doesn't matter. And then people are like, well, how would you feel if it was, your mother's funeral and somebody, called out to one of your family members? And I'm like, well, if he
Was
was
my brother a
fucking
pedophile?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Because if my brother's a pedophile, he's not going to be at the fucking
Yeah.
funeral.
No.
and
Oh,
just
ooh.
to recap, the Queen paid that victim, that female victim,
Yeah, she
the
did pay her
equivalent
off.
of 12 or 13 million pounds of hush money.
No, I
to
thought it
just-
was the equivalent of 12 or 13 million dollars, which was like 18 million pounds or some shit like that. It was a lot.
Well, either way, it was
It was a fucking lot.
A lot of money.
it was a lot. And then they strip him of his royal duties. Strip him. He's not allowed to wear his military uniform.
Ooh, let's get into
No.
that for a minute because I want to have this discussion. It's not going to take long, but 2 members of the royal family were not allowed to wear their
Yes.
uniforms. 2.
Yes. Well, actually,
2 members.
I think they allowed Andrew
well,
to
no,
wear it
yeah.
one last time.
Right. Okay. So let's get into that shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
But
technically, when you're in the royal family, you are conveyed royal military titles. The chancellor of the fucking navy, the fucking duke of the marines. Like I don't know them. I'm making this shit up. I know
Right,
there
right.
are official titles. The fucking sultan of swift boats. Like I don't know because I don't give a shit. But I know they have specific military titles. And along with those titles come a uniform.
Yeah.
That fucking powder blue gold, like
Yeah.
Mexican general
It
epaulets.
reminds me of like the
fucking
like-
Manuel Noriega fucking
yeah,
bullshit.
exactly.
Like,
yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Like the movie
Right.
The Dictator, where he's just wearing all this shit just
Exactly.
fucking because.
Exactly, right? And you're like, motherfucker, did you never mind.
In any
yeah.
event.
Yeah.
So Andrew had a bunch of titles. Then he Epstein shit happened. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And motherfuckers had the receipts, like pictures of him with the girl. Like he's I didn't
Right.
fuck that girl. And all of a sudden there's a picture of him on 5 minutes before he fucked her or whatever.
Right.
Allegedly, don't sue us. I'm not saying it happened. I'm just saying there's a bunch of evidence that says it happened. So
I'm just saying, if it was you or I,
I'm
or
just saying
on
I'd
the
be in
receiving end of
prison.
that, we'd be in prison. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely,
Yeah.
we'd be in prison.
Okay. So long story short, he and Harry. Now, Andrew is Charles's brother, I think. Okay, so Andrew is the one who he's the new king's brother. He's the queen's other son, yeah, like second son. They
Yeah.
call him the heir, which is Charles, and the spare, which is Andrew. And the heir is who's going to take the throne, and the spare is just in case something happens to the first one, right? So he gets stripped of all his military titles because he's a fucking pervert. And then Harry, who marries Meghan, which they're, if you don't know, they're the ones that went on Oprah and were like, the queen's a racist.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh my God, the queen's a racist? What?
Yeah.
And I'm
Wow.
like, motherfucker, the queen is not just a racist. There's so many other things that the queen is.
We are
Like-
not shocked about
like-
this at all.
like, and I'm sure it's not just that Meghan Markle's part black. Like, there's probably like, it's also probably that she was on Deal or No Deal. Like, she's like, I mean, I could deal with the fact that she's black, but the bitch was on Deal or No Deal. You know? Shit, fuck it. You couldn't even bring home Vanna White, you know? Like there's so many other game show hostesses you could have brought home, and you bring home this bitch. Let's not get into that. But he said she's racist, da 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 da. By doing that, then the queen was like, motherfucker, you lose your titles too.
Yeah.
Like,
But didn't he
I-
actually properly serve in the military though?
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so that's what we're getting into, right? So
She
this
can't strip
motherfucker,
him of
Harry,
that.
her grandson, she stripped him of his. Well, he relinquished all of his royal duties. Like it was kind of
royal
like getting,
duties, yeah.
like
Right.
resigning in lieu of termination.
Right.
It's so
You quit before you get fired.
right. So he quits all of his royal duties. Like, fuck this family. I don't want to do these royal duties anyway. And she's like, cool, because we're gonna fire you. But in resigning your royal duties, you lose the Sultan of Swift Boats or the
Yeah.
fucking
The bullshit military
Marquis
titles.
of Marines or whatever
Right,
the
yeah.
bullshit. Right, exactly. Which means you don't get to wear those medals and uniforms that go along with that position. However, Harry and William, the current heir to King Charles, his brother Harry, the Diana's kids, Diana's boys,
Right.
Yeah.
they both served in the military. They are both fucking veterans. I believe William is a motherfucking helicopter pilot.
Something like that. Yeah, I know he's
Let's hear
Navy.
for
Yeah.
helicopter pilots. Yeah. And not only was he a helicopter pilot in the military, but when he got out, he has spent time flying like life flight shit in his civilian hours, like this fucking heir to the throne, and he's flying an air ambulance, right? So
In air
these are-
ambulance.
the air, right? Let's get that spelling check. But so these two dudes are actually like, well, at least one of them is out there doing it, right? For real.
Right.
And then they both are told, because you're stripped of your royal duties, you can't wear your uniforms to all the public functions. So you got like all these fucking people in their like Manuel Noriega costumes. And then you got these two assholes in like suits with a couple of medals on their chest. And clearly they're the fucking disgraced like assholes of the family. However, you're right, Matt. Andrew, the fucking Epstein buddy pedophile, was allowed. They gave him a special exception so that at the actual funeral, internment, whatever, he's allowed to wear his uniform.
Yeah.
But Harry,
It's
who
not.
actually fucking served
Yeah.
and was in the
didn't rape-
military
and didn't rape anybody.
and didn't rape a child for money, allegedly, Epstein evidence, I would be in prison. That guy gets the special exception, but the fucking redheaded stepchild of Diana is like, no, fuck you. You married a black chick, so you're out.
Yeah.
Like, this is the mixed emotions.
Which is weird because I mean, how can you tell him you can't wear your military dress uniform with your medals on them, even though you served?
Well, no, he
You
can't
know,
wear the
He can't
royal.
wear the royal.
the
He should have
royal.
just stuck it in their face and wore his actual military dress.
I'm
and
pretty
been like, "Ah,
sure.
fuck you. I
that-
got my own.
I'm pretty sure that he never actually had actual military uniforms. He probably always had just royal ones, and so like it's one of those things where your dad says don't wear that shit, and you're like, all right, fucking, you know.
He probably
So-
doesn't give a shit anyways.
Yeah,
Whatever,
he's
dude.
so over that all that bullshit in the family anyway, from what it sounds
go.
like. So
well,
like when we going back
okay.
home to California, wherever the fuck they live.
Well, and yeah. So anyway, we don't have to talk about them because fuck it, we dumped tea in the harbor and we're over it. But I just like we spent way more time on this than I thought we would. However, like I'm shocked at the amount of news coverage this has gotten. I guess I'm not shocked.
Yeah, I'm not.
Any all that we're still obsessed with the royal family in this country. Like we really are.
Yeah, they made a show about it
all
called
the
The Crown.
Yeah, all the people that watch, all the shit reality shows. Like this
I think it's like
this
when
is like
you're
the real deal.
maybe when your dad divorces your mom and you're living with your mom, but you're obsessed with what your dad and his new wife are doing. Like that's kind of America's relationship with the royal family. Like we were like, fuck you, mom, leave dad. And so mom left dad. And then we still kind of peek over the fence to see what dad's doing with his new wife. Like that
Right.
might be kind of the American dynamic with the royal family. Whereas I'm like, fuck them. I'm Irish and Scottish and fuck the English. Like I'm just as English as I am Scottish and Irish, but I identify more with my oppressed side than I do with anything else.
I think it's you got those millennials and zennials or whatever the fuck that they're called that like Marxism and stuff like that and socialism and communism. And they look at, over there and they're like, well, we wish we could be like them. So they're obsessed with the queen and all that other bullshit over there because they want to, they wish that the United States was more like the United Kingdom. You know what I mean?
Healthcare.
Yeah.
Which you're like, no.
No.
Why don't
But
I
see,
wish
they
somebody would just remind them that okay, that's cool, but you can't protest anymore because the minute
Right.
you go
See
into
the
a
good dude
public,
got fucking arrested.
yeah, the minute you go into a public place and say something that the
They
crown
don't
doesn't like,
understand that.
Wait,
They
did
don't
you actually
understand
looked
that.
up the laws, right?
yes, yeah,
So-
you want me to?
So yeah, because here's the thing. I'll give you because okay, there are limits to free speech, right? We know there are limits to the
Right,
First
right.
Amendment.
Right.
And I am the first person to say I completely understand and agree with the fact that there are limits to the First Amendment. All right.
Well, it's like inciting,
you can't yell
violence,
fire in a crowded theater.
right, or something
Right.
that's going to
And
cause
so-
harm to people.
Right. So Chuck, you and I know from California law, the law that gets closest to violating the First Amendment would be disturbing the peace law, which like
Well, that there's one that goes even closer. It's terrorist threats. It used to be, or criminal threats. They
threats.
recategorize it for criminal threats.
Right. And
Which
so
is not
I
free
would say that,
speech.
but see, that's a felony. And I would say that the misdemeanor section, whereas like, so you got 415
I
parent,
guess.
it's just going to get into the weeds a little bit, but let's say disturbing the peace 1, 2, and 3. The first
Yeah.
one, like you got fights, right? Straight up fights, like you disturbing
Setting,
the peace through
setting a
fighting,
fight.
right?
That
But there is a section. Well, and then you got disturbing the peace, like I'm playing my music too fucking loud, and my neighbors complain, right?
right.
Which, I mean,
Loud party
That's
call and
close.
things like that.
but the one that gets the closest, I think, to like, oh shit, you're gonna have First Amendment issues is the section that says words likely to provoke an immediate violent reaction.
Yeah, provoking a fight, things
Right,
like that.
Right. So
I've never really seen anybody booked
I've
on that.
never seen anybody. book
It's only like fuck CYA. All right, just book them on that.
right. Like
And you got to do a fight.
And I in my mind, here's the thing, you have to play somebody on a private person's arrest, but in my mind, I have scenarios that I've played out where I'm like, yeah, if somebody said to me that this is what happened, I'd be like, here's the section you can arrest him under and I'll take him into custody because fuck that guy, and
Yes.
it's kind of a catch-all section that you don't really use unless you really, really have to. But that's the thing. I've never, ever arrested anybody for words likely to provoke an immediate violent reaction.
It's
Like,
because
and
it's
I've
so
seen people, it's so
difficult to
like nailing Jello to
prove.
a wall. Yeah. Right.
It's like when you try to, someone's like, oh, that person says he's gonna kill me, and you're like, okay, criminal threats, and then you get a call, the call comes out, you bust ass over there, and or beat feet or whatever you call it, and you get there, and they're like, yeah, the guy said,
I'm gonna
he
kill
would
you
fucking-
if.
I would kill me if I did this. And you're
Yeah,
like, okay,
well,
did he
that
say
doesn't
with what,
qualify.
or did he have means or
Right.
whatever? Because you have to have means to
You have to have
complete
means. It has to
the
be
threat.
unqualified.
Right.
You have to
So-
believe that it's illegitimate. There has to be like there's all
Exactly.
kinds of shit.
Like, I will beat you in the head with a fucking bat. I will kill you. I will splatter your brains all over,
Like
brains all over
I
the
will
ground.
come
You
to your
have a
house
bat
at
and you're
10:30
holding it?
tonight.
All right, now
I
you
will
have
come
it.
to your fucking house on First Street, halfway down the block, and I will walk through your green front door with a baseball bat and bash your head in until your brains fall out,
It has
and
to be
there's
so
nothing you can do to
specific.
stop me. Well, that's pretty fucking specific, and yeah,
Yeah.
you're under arrest, right? Like, okay, but in this instance, what did the motherfucker say, Matt?
Andrew, you're a sick old man.
Okay.
He was his opinion. He
I
felt
mean-
Andrew was a sick old man.
I would
It's
argue.
true.
I would argue that is not his opinion. I would argue that you could prove beyond a reasonable doubt in court that Andrew is, in fact, a sick old man. And the biggest piece of evidence is the amount of money that the Crown had to pay to a fucking formerly 17-year-old girl to get her to shut the fuck up.
Right.
Would be evidence that he is, in fact,
a sick old man.
Right.
Yes.
But what happened to this guy?
Okay, so he all of a sudden you see him yelling this. He's right at the front line of the freaking barrier on the street, and he's yelling this, and nobody's doing anything. And then he keeps on saying something else, but the news camera decided to cut the audio on that, so you can't really hear what he's saying. And then all of a sudden you just see him get yanked back into the crowd. So somebody
gets
grabbed him, and gets
yeeted right
freaking
in-
yeeted back in, and then two guys lay hands on him and assault him,
Heal
No,
him
they-
of his opinions.
yes, and then the cops scoop him up, and they're
Mhm.
pushing him back away, and he's got his hands up, and he goes, "Well, I've done nothing wrong," and as he's walking away,
And arguably, he's correct.
yeah, arguably he's correct. And so after that, there was a reporter that was there with, a camera and whatnot. And the cops were talking to him, and they said, why did you do this? And he said, I don't think that rich old men should be allowed to do what he did to young girls. Or so, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like that.
I mean,
yeah, basically
a statement that nobody on the Locker Room podcast would argue with, by the way.
Right. So that's what happened. So now this was in Scotland. So, like you said earlier with the United States, the United Kingdom, they have, Scotland, Wales, and England, and they all have their independent laws, and then they have their laws that, are, for like their federal laws. So in England, the breach of peace law reads this. This is verbatim.
Now, hold on. Is this the law of the United Kingdom, or is this the law?
I'm going to read you the law of England and the law of Scotland where he was.
But these are both territorial laws. Neither
Correct.
one of them is the UK law. Okay.
Correct.
All right.
So the one in England reads, any person who in any public place or at any public meeting uses threatening, abusive, or insulting words or behavior with intent to provoke a breach of the peace or whereby a breach of the peace is likely to be occasioned shall be guilty of an offense. So they just threw this big net over.
Yeah.
If you say anything,
You go to a pub and you tell your homie that his mother's fucking bangers and mash tastes like dog shit.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever heard the audio at a fucking British soccer game? Like this happens all the time.
Routinely. Routinely. Your mother's a fucking whore.
Yeah. So that's the English law of breach
and
of the peace. And in Scotland, conduct severe enough to cause alarm to ordinary people and threaten serious disturbance to the community, or conduct which does present as genuinely alarming and disturbing in its context to any reasonable people.
So now this one I'm actually kind of with, right? Like conduct. Like if you point a fucking gun at somebody and it reasonably threatens their safety, boom, qualifies. Right.
Yeah. But they do kind of like throw out there, severe enough to cause alarm to ordinary people. Well, who's an
yelling
ordinary
fire
person?
in a theater? Yelling fire in a theater.
Okay, yeah. So I can get behind
an
that.
ordinary piece, right?
So, but he was in Scotland, which this
Right.
law applies, when he said, Andrew, you're a
Yes.
sick old man.
Right.
That-
Which I would argue, where the fuck is the violation?
Would have
Yeah.
alarmed two people enough to put hands on him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
which
it
which
alarmed
did
the
not get
cops.
arrested. Those two guys that put their hands on him, the cops paid no mind to
That's
them.
because he alarmed them.
There we
Dude,
go.
they were
There we go.
they were fucking January 6th FBI agents in tight shorts. That's like, I mean, let's face it, like we're not the only ones that have that playbook, right? Like,
Right.
you think
Right,
the
right.
fucking Brits didn't have fucking agents in tight shorts that are like, yes, I also am a protester of the Queen's tyranny. Please say what you will next to my presence, where I will record it. And then, like, no, fuck you. They had agents in that crowd, you know.
They're probably out there like, yeah, fuck Pelosi, yeah.
They were playing the fucking Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen, like fucking, which we played at the beginning of the show. So
How does anybody get drunk over there, like, and not go to jail?
oh no, see, that's the thing.
Well, because when everybody
If you
else is
say it
drunk
about
too,
everybody else, like, you can say what you want about Matt, you can say what you want about me, but if you say it about the Queen, that's like, you might as it's literally those old draconian laws where you could say whatever you wanted unless you said it about the Queen or the King. And then it was, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
We're off with your head.
so
Like,
so this guy verbally, you know, he voiced his opinion.
Yes.
He yelled something.
right.
There have been, that I know of, that I saw, and I'm sure there's been more that just haven't been documented, at least 2 people that were whisked away by the police for merely holding a sign showing
Right.
contempt of the monarchy.
Yes.
Just
that's
a
ridiculous.
Oh
sign.
my God, dude. Like,
A
freedom
sign
of
that
sign.
says abolish the monarchy, and you're whisked away and not escorted off the premises. You are arrested.
Arrested. Now, okay, let's
Now,
be
whether
fair.
these charges stick or anything, or they
Right.
were just doing it to appease the crowd, probably.
I can tell you 100% there are times in American law enforcement where if you're at a riot, if you're at a protest, you're going to get snatched up and arrested for the thinnest of sections, and then charges will be dropped. You will be released.
Yeah, they just wanted to get you out of there to keep the fire from
Because
getting
they did
stoked
not
a little hotter.
exactly. They did
Yeah.
not, like, this dude holding up the sign might have gotten beaten within an inch of his life, and so by arresting him, they may have been saving him from an ass whooping. I'm not saying that there aren't other sides to the story.
Right,
I
right.
am saying that this is a totally different country with totally different laws. And it goes back to our discussion about third world countries, because if you think you have it fucking bad here, if you step out on the street and say, we live in a fascist regime, and you go home at the end of the night, you do not live in a fascist regime.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Right.
That
So
is
there's
correct.
that. But I unless you guys have anything else, I wanted to, because we spent way more time on this than I thought we would.
Yeah.
But unless you guys have anything else, I wanted, there's an article I sent to you guys about a man and a woman dating.
And
that I wanted to
I've had a hell of a
discuss.
week. I full disclosure, have not had the time to read that, but the headline alone, which clearly is what a lot of people in this country do now, they just read the headline and form their opinions. I did not,
Right.
but I read the headline. And I was like, ooh, this is going to be good. So maybe if you want to
if you want to review it,
notes.
if you want to review it real quick, I'm gonna actually add a couple of things. First of all, before we get too far gone, I wanted to tell Lil 40 that he says he's been listening to the podcast forever, and what are some of our favorite horror movies. As we get closer,
hold on. But before you do, is it little 40 or is it
Lil.
Lil like
Lil.
LIL?
It's
Okay, I like
Lil
that better.
dot 40.
Hell yeah,
Lil.
I like that.
I've been listening to podcasts for a while. What are some of y'all's favorite horror movies? We will get there because that's a good show.
Oh yeah.
We're
We're
gonna
only in the middle of
yeah.
September. That's
Yeah, we gotta wait. We gotta get a little closer to Halloween.
Yeah, it'll probably be a 2-parter on that one.
Maybe shit, because I got some. My wife got me into horror movies. So there's some of that shit. And then we also have got a question from a homie who is one of our listeners and actually wants to know. He sent us a meme, and then ultimately after the meme, he sent us the question: does absolute power corrupt absolutely, or can you have power and not get corrupted? And I thought it would be kind of a fun tie-in for this episode. However, we kind of lost. I mean, let's face it, we just go and then wherever the conversation takes. That's why this shit is fucking raw, dogs. Is we just pick a topic and we go.
Sorry, raw dog. You got me on that. I'm reading, but I'm listening.
So we're going to answer those questions. However, I wanted to at least say that we read them and we were talking about them in this instance. So I will give the Reader's Digest of the situation. So
yeah, I just skimmed through it. I think I have the gist of it. There we go. Okay, now I'm done.
So a woman revealed on. So first of all, y'all motherfuckers need to get off Reddit.
Yeah.
Right. Reddit is not a shrink. And Reddit is the kind of platform that gets people to name boats Bodie McBoatface. And
yes.
while I applaud the willingness to name a boat Bodie McBoatface, when you have a serious issue, maybe that crowd is not the one you want to seek advice from. That I'm just putting that out there. So let's say the Reddit user disclosed that her boyfriend and her, so her and her boyfriend, she started dating this guy.
How long were they dating?
Well, okay.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. So while they're dating, right, one of them says that I'm adopted. And the other one says, me too. It's amazing how both of us being adopted will bring us closer together in our relationship. That relationship then went on, or is going on, for 6 years.
6 fucking years. Still going on.
Spoiler alert. In the meantime, people have said, wow, you and your boyfriend, you guys look a lot alike. So let's review. Dating for 6 years.
Yep.
Both are adopted.
Yep.
Friends say they look a lot alike. They both didn't learn that they were adopted until high school, and they had good families. They weren't passed around from foster home to foster home. This is what she says in her long diatribe on the internet, which, let's face it, obviously only well-adjusted people take this shit to the internet for a long anonymous diatribe. So clearly we're not dealing with, somebody who needs therapy or anything. Jeez. She felt immediate attraction to this guy, immediate familiarity. And she found out through a 23andMe DNA ancestry.com that her boyfriend is her brother.
Her biological, not half brother.
Not half brother.
Not half brother.
Her biological brother.
Yes. Same mother, same father.
Yes. Now, in this post, she says that her and her boyfriend have done, quote, everything a long-term couple should do, including celebrated anniversaries, said I love you, met each other's families,
had sex.
Yeah.
They did say they didn't want to have kids together. Well, when you're both foster kids that have been adopted, I wouldn't be surprised that you both don't want to have kids together.
Yeah.
However,
plus that would not bode well now, knowing what they know.
Right. So she took a DNA test. She took an ancestry.com DNA test, and she was excited to see what she was going to see, and then was shocked when she found out the information that she was, in fact, her boyfriend's sister.
Yeah.
Cut to the part in the article where she says,
I love this part.
I have not told him yet.
If he did 23andMe, you'd get a little notification on his phone. Ding. You have a new familial match.
So I don't know how that shit works.
I do.
But
That's how it works.
That's how it works. You get a fucking
yeah, well,
notification on your.
but I don't know.
fucking-
I don't know what service he used. I don't know what
Yeah.
like how she got the notification. Like
23andMe doesn't use other people's shit, and neither does Ancestry. So they use their own. So you would have to test on that person's on that.
right, but it
one to
doesn't
find
say
out.
it doesn't say what service she used.
But both. I've done both of those.
right,
Both gets notifications.
right. So I'm just saying that I have no idea
That
how
motherfucker
this
knows.
connection was made. I just know that according to this post, she knows, he does not. Now,
Oh, he knows.
according to her, he does not. He was like, "Bing, that's your sister." He's like, "Yeah," like that could be like that could be legit. Like, yeah, I've seen those videos on you porn.
my favorite part of this article is where she writes, "Our relationship was and still is great. We understood each other very fast. We were attracted to each other quickly. I've never met someone and felt immediate attraction and familiarity. Now I know that the comfort and familiarity is because he's my brother, not my half brother."
Mm.
Jesus Christ.
So
like,
We just had this instant connection.
yeah. So I just wanted to discuss it. I meant to discuss it for a brief period of time, and now because we spent so much time talking
Yeah.
about the monarchy, we're going to discuss it for a brief period of time.
And quickly, because I know people are wondering, she is 30, he is 32 years old.
Yeah, like this is not 20 and 21. This is not 18 and 20. This is like
This
you're
is kinda- you're a-
6 years, bro.
Yeah.
Like 6 years together.
Yeah.
Like they're talking marriage kind of like
Yeah.
I mean
you're an established adult. You have your shit together. You gotta plan where you want it, you're
like
you're
how
in your
long
shit.
were you
bills.
I was together with my wife for 3 years when we got married. So 6 years, bro.
yeah.
That's
So
twice
I've
as
been
long.
I've been with mine now 5 years.
And you've
but
been married
we just got married last year.
a year ago.
Yeah.
And you had a baby, like so 4
Yeah.
years together, and you got married. Like
Yeah.
these
married
people
and had a
still have
baby.
you beat. They have me
Yeah.
by double, right?
Right.
So the first thing that like when you get on Reddit and you read the threads and all this shit, like should she tell him? Well, let's start with should she break up with him? We don't skip to should she tell him?
Yeah.
Like we need to start with should she break up with him? The answer is survey
Yes.
says
I say yes.
like she
Yes.
kind of has to, right?
She's your
Yeah.
fucking brother,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
It doesn't
hey, I got
matter.
some good
Oh,
news.
They didn't
and
grow
some
up.
bad
Did it
news.
together. That doesn't matter. That's if
Is
all
there
these light
any
bulbs are
world-
going off in your head. Well, that's why we know each other so well. That's why we do this the
Okay.
same. That's why we do
Thank
this.
you, Jesus, that I
'Cause you're
love you guys. This is why you're
fucking
my
brothers.
friends.
She comes home. She's like, I just want to let you guys know I have some good news and I have some bad news. Good news is we found each other. Bad news is we're brother and sister.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
like
but hey, we found each other.
There was a part of me I was like, I'm gonna take this to the guys. I'm gonna send them this email, and I don't know what to do if they come back to me and be like, well, like I didn't.
I should have
Like, and you guys like,
well,
okay,
like
because to me, I'm like, okay, first of all, it sucks, but y'all have to break up. You have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
That ain't
you
right.
have
Brother.
to. If you
That's not
don't
like your
break
cousin.
up,
That's your
this is how
fucking
you
brother.
get like Leatherface and shit.
Yeah.
Like
this is a violation of natural order. Like this
Right.
is not this is not okay.
I don't.
You saw that-
Give a
have you seen that
shit
Netflix
how
show,
much
Sweet
you
Tooth?
porn is trying to normalize this shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
where they start popping out like half-breed kids that were like animals and like people. This
Yeah.
is how you get that.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is how you
Like,
get that.
Yeah.
Are they
That was
from
a good
Virginia?
show, by the way.
I'm watching it right now.
Like
Are they
it's
from
not even
Virginia?
okay. Like this shit happens when people are wearing crowns. Like speaking of the royal family, like
yeah.
like
Cousin
if-
fuckers.
like
Yeah,
you're
they're
not
legit.
you're not wearing. It's
Yeah.
not okay when you are declared the king or the queen or the prince or the prince. It's not
Yeah.
even okay then.
And
And
even
yet
then,
you
if they,
guys-
they separate out by cousins, not by freaking
Right. This is
siblings.
like, well, I mean, now they do.
Well, yeah.
There was,
But
I
back
mean,
then they did. Yeah.
you go back, go back not too long ago, and it was like, well,
Gotta
I
keep the
just-
bloodline alive.
I was really, really, really thinking to myself, there is no world where when you find that information out, you should be okay with it and be like, well, my life, my choice. Like, I can't, I
No.
just can't.
There needs to be that scene from The Crying Game where you need to burn your clothes and go into the
Yes.
shower and just
Yes.
cry.
And
Like
scrub
that.
yourself with a SOS pad.
Yeah.
And like, and then the breakup scenes. And how do you continue being friends? Like, you're like, okay, but you're still my brother, so I'm gonna invite you to, your nieces.
You just have to torch both of those relationships. Both of those relationships. The boyfriend girlfriend relationship is done, and you just have to. You don't have a sibling. Like,
you
that's
ruined that
done
brother
too.
and sister.
Yeah, it's done.
Right?
You just got to go your separate ways. Somebody like, you get the West Coast, I'll take the East Coast, and we'll never fucking see each other again. Like,
Ever.
that's just,
and we'll never discuss this again. We'll
never discuss this.
This never, ever, ever.
We'll never
ever,
discuss this again. She's like,
happened.
yeah, well, about that, I kind of went on Reddit. You did what?
I let everybody know.
Like,
that's kind of shitty too.
I posted her photos.
To air that out on the fucking, anonymous or not.
So what you're saying is that the entire internet knew before I did.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Bitch. Like, appreciate it.
When was
good looking out?
When was this? This was posted on September 1st of this year.
I mean,
so
yeah, it was not long ago.
God knows if he even knows. Still,
God, how many times?
Yeah, we don't.
They fucked. Like, that's just
okay. Hold on. I can't believe that you're actually wondering how many times. Like, one.
I was just, what I've been thinking
so much mental trauma.
The whole time. I'm like, this lady's sucking her brother's cock like regularly. Like, fucking whatever. That could be impersonal.
Asshole,
but
I love the fact that you guys take, like, I could not get past that they saw each other naked. Like, the idea of seeing my sister naked is so horrifying to me.
Now imagine putting your cock in her mouth.
No. Ew.
It's horrible.
Stop it right
horrible.
now. Just stop it.
You like that?
This show doesn't have many lines, but you finally crossed one of them.
I know. I got to tiptoe over it once in a while.
I'm gonna start talking about the redhead in
them.
Arizona. You want me to start? Yeah, we will not go there. I'm just saying that.
But that guy did.
Yeah, right.
He went there, so he's probably still
one
going
time
there.
is too many. And then, like, can you imagine? Can you imagine if, like, she bones him a couple of times and then tells him?
Oh, fuck.
Or if she moans it out while they're fucking, like, she's on top of him, just fucking riding him away, and
she's like, "Hey, we're pregnant." And also your sister.
She could just be sitting there, just grinding away on him. You like how big sis is doing that, or little sis is doing that too?
Right? She's like, "Who's your daddy?" And he says his dad's name, and she's like, "Me too."
Yeah, me too.
Hashtag me too.
Pound me too.
There's so much wrong with this, and yet we're in a world where somebody feels comfortable enough to take this to Reddit and be like, "Hey, what y'all think?"
Yeah, because it's anonymous. Nothing on the internet is anonymous. Somebody knows who you are, and somebody's gonna fucking dox you. Like, that's gonna happen.
Oh God. So
I just that guy up through Instagram, like, "Hey, that's your sister, right?"
Well, so as we're keeping this on that, like, what the fuck kind of a note, I sent you guys a picture. And
speaking of what the fuck,
I have
questions. Yeah.
So I have a lot of questions.
Okay, so let me back this up, because when I first sent you guys the picture, you guys were like, "Why do we need to talk about this?" And I was like,
first of all,
because
where
I have questions.
These photos.
All right.
How fucked up is your Instagram? How fucked up is your Instagram algorithm where that's popping up?
I don't want to see your Google.
You guys want to hear? You guys?
I don't want to see
honestly. Okay, here's how it came up. I follow several other police and firefighter podcast pages.
Oh my God! Did somebody get stuck in these?
It was a firefighter podcast page. It was a police podcast page that was tagging a firefighter podcast page saying, "This is for you." Right?
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
Right. So I saw this thing, and it was like,
nice cover.
Right. And I was like, oh. So I was like, oh my God, that is commitment to a bit, right? To Photoshop this thing and commit to a bit to insult another firefighter podcast page. Like that's
Yeah.
commitment.
Yeah.
And then I was looking as I looked at the meme, I was like, this doesn't look Photoshop at all.
And for those of you
So,
wondering what this is
I'll get to it. So I zoomed into it. I zoomed in on it. And I'm going to tell you right now that just like our episode about the internet is a dangerous place, I'm going to tell you right now, don't Google it. Don't type it into your address browser.
I'm about to.
Don't look it up. But it's cockblock.com.
Oh my
Cockblock.com.
God, no, never gonna go there.
There we go.
Is that .net or .com or what?
Dot orgasm.
It's actually wait. Let's give them proper credit. It's cockblocktoys.com.
Cockblocktoys.com.
Is it .com? It's .com.
Yes, it is.
It's
Oh no, it's a commercial enterprise.
Is it spelled with a C or a K?
Not CUM, COM.
Yeah, COM.
Okay.
Not .com. How it works. There's an instructional video.
Oh my God, there is not an instructional video. Okay, so let's back up then. Let's back up because people are wondering. No, I'm not. I can't. Okay. So what it shows is basically a 2-hole fleshlight.
Yeah.
Right? That's the easiest way to explain it.
Yeah, top and bottom.
Male stroker.
A 2-hole fleshlight with
Yeah.
a neon sign that indicates 2 guys playing tummy sticks with this apparatus in between the 2 of them. And
they rub each other on the inside. I thought it was like individual sleeves.
It's the same hole. So they both touching each other in the same hole.
Yeah.
So skin on skin.
It's like skin on skin.
So when I saw this firefighter police meme page that had this image that tagged each other, and I'm like, that's not real. And I of course I went on. No, don't play it. Do not play it. Fuck you.
Look at that,
bro. Matt is playing that shit,
bro.
He's playing the video. Oh my God. They spent money on this animation, bro.
That.
They spent money on this animation. Oh my God. I want to throw up right now so much.
I thought it was like 2 individual sleeves.
No, it was like CG, like neon,
but it's little openings so that you get skin on skin freaking rubby-dubby right there.
Because that's what I was wondering. Because I was like, oh man, 2 individual sleeves, like do they touch at the tip? Or...
Yeah, no, it's shaft on shaft action right there.
So what I was like kind of fascinated by was the use of the word bro. Right. And I was as I was looking at this, it says you is a new way for 2 buddies
yes,
to have sex. buddies. And this is where I started to get, like, at first I was like, oh, this is a joke, and then I was like, oh no, this is real for the gays. Right. So they need a thing to be able to like, because typically as the gays, like, it's hard to make eye contact during their act of whatever. Okay, now that you invented something where, no, this said for 2 buddies. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh my God, your people fucking designed it, Thomas.
No, but here's my question, right?
What do you mean by you people?
What do you mean by buddies? Like, Matt, you and I are buddies.
Yeah, we're not going shaft on shaft. It's just not happening. It's not happening.
Like,
I have no problem pulling it out and peeing in front of you. I got no problem doing that, but we're not going. There's no shaft on shaft.
I swear to God, my first question when I saw the tagline was,
bro.
Are they marketing this to bros who need a little extra cuddle time during masturbation? Like, what is the, like, hey bro, I know you're in a dry spell. Yeah. I got the cock block and we could have a little tummy sticks time. And it's not gay. Right?
I'm on the FAQ page. I'm on the frequently asked questions.
Okay, let's go. You got to give it to me. Okay. Let's go. What are the frequently asked questions? Okay. We have to do this. Go.
Does cock block work for all size cocks?
Is that number one? Is that number one?
That's number.
Oh my God.
No, I'm skipping down to the good stuff because
Okay,
we're like,
good.
where
Okay.
can I buy it? What's it made
man.
of?
That-
Does it have any
bullshit.
electronic
When you put that shit
moving
on your
parts?
frequently asked questions, you're just selling shit. Like, no,
Yeah.
no. Guess this is the real
so-
frequently asked questions.
Cock block was specifically designed to accommodate most size cocks. The outer casing
Can you
is
just
made
stop
of
saying cocks?
no, that I'm
It's
reading
making me,
verbatim.
I
what it
know,
said.
but just it's making me uncomfortable.
The outer casing is
Cocks.
made of stretchy silicone, not hard plastic, so it's expandable for larger girths. The open end allows for any length.
Oh my God.
Where's cock block made? Cock block was designed in Canada and is manufactured in
Fuck you.
China.
Is that what you mean by my people?
Yeah.
I guarantee you Justin Trudeau holds the patent on this shit.
He fucking owns one.
He fucking no, he's the inventor. All
Oh,
right.
wait, there's a tab called uncensored just above the FAQs.
Oh my God.
I'm taking one for the team, guys. Here we go.
Don't say that in this. Like you're just gonna read the
Oh, there's
FAQ.
photos,
and-
brother.
Oh, it's like
Oh no.
guys
no,
showing that-
stop.
hold
No.
on. You can't.
We're God damn it.
There we go. Look at these guys.
No.
I believe that
no!
one's called a bear.
Is that Bert Kreischer? It's Chuck with hair.
Oh, nah, dude. I'm
Oh
much more
my
sexier
God.
than that.
Oh,
And I
it's
have
Marcus Cage and
No.
by Rugby Jack. Rugby Jock. By Rugby
Okay.
Jock.
Stop
I
using
got
the
It says
word
watch
rugby.
now. It's a video. You can
No.
probably watch.
No.
I'm gonna turn the volume up. Hold on.
No, I don't think you should. I don't think you should.
I agree. Enter. I don't know what I'm agreeing to. Oh, look at these fucking guys. They got
No,
both their
I don't
cocks in the
want
cock
to.
block. Right?
No.
Look at that. This is amazing.
I
Let's press
I
play.
don't want to look at any of
Let's
this.
press play.
Let's not press play.
Oh,
Oh, there's sound effects.
my God.
Wait, what is this?
Oh,
Hockey?
shit.
Oh, that's the soundtrack. That's the soundtrack.
no, he's getting it.
Oh,
They're unboxing it.
wait, hold on.
Like a video
Hold on.
game.
Wait.
Look at this guy's doing it by himself.
What the fuck, man? How long were you watching me?
Oh my God. Oh, he put it in his mouth. Okay, I'm done. Got really gay for a second. How you gonna sneak a gay blowjob in your average cock block? I did
Hold
not
on.
coming.
Hold on. We need Chuck. We need to give Chuck a minute to recover. You're all right, dude.
Oh,
You're
they say I'm not gay.
Marcus Cage.
Jesus Christ. What got me was the sound of
Yeah.
oh my
That
God,
was
started making me
legit.
sick. I was like, oh my God, that's fucking gross.
But what I love about this is Chuck was the first person to say, "Do we really need to talk about this on the show?"
And that got me, dude. Oh,
And so that was I know, Matt. I know you had a question, but my
Oh.
first honest, legitimate question was: are they marketing this to like homies? Like
Yeah, it kind of seemed like it.
Dude.
it
But then I
seems
saw
like
that
it,
one
like-
guy put the other guy's cock in his mouth. I'm like, no, this is for the gays.
oh, fuck, bro.
But do gays refer? We need.
Oh, I'm fucking
I,
sweating.
I know. Let's face it. I know we don't have really a huge gay listener population.
I know a few.
But
I can talk to him tomorrow
I know
morning.
a few, and hey, I'll call my brother and be like, "Have you ever referred to your fuck partner as your buddy?"
As your buddy. I mean, there's fuck buddies.
There's
the
fuck buddies.
fuck
straight
buddies.
nomenclature. Yeah.
But-
so why not?
but-
Fuck bros.
I mean, I would have been
if
more.
a guy can have
I
a-
think I would have been more comfortable with fuck bros on the
Than
website
than just
buddy.
bros. Yeah,
Like
buddy.
buddy.
Or
buddy
fuck
is
buddy.
just buddy is a little too familiar for me.
Yeah.
because
Buddy's an elf.
and Matt, you and I
and
have
now it
seen
could
each
be
other
more
naked.
familiar.
We have seen each other naked.
Yeah, I have no
I
problem
know
seeing
exactly how large your penis is.
Yeah.
If a snake bit your penis and I had to suck the poison out, bro, I'm there for you. Like you're not gonna die. But tummy sticks is too far.
Done. Yeah. No tummy
would- I would
sticks.
just
No
tourniquet
tummy
it.
sticks.
No tummy sticks. It's not gonna happen. Like I'll go like I'll go to save your life. Like fine, I get it. Like it's one time to save your life from a snake bite. Done. But tummy
Okay.
sticks, I draw the line at tummy sticks.
Yeah.
That can't
That's-
happen.
No.
Okay.
Infographic. What's this one?
Fuck,
You're
dude.
still on the
Fucking
website.
breaks it down. Breaking it
My-
down here.
I think you broke it down quite enough
Okay.
for us. Oh my God. Oh Jesus.
The cock block.
Well, I'm sorry for those of you that are listening to this and looked it up, but at the same time, we
let
saw
me know
it,
how
so
many
fuck
welds
you,
we
you should
fucked
see
up on
it.
that one. Yeah. I want to know how many
we
welds
saw it,
we
so
fucked
fuck
up
you.
on
You
that.
should see it too. Hey, real quick though, do you know what you call a dog with no legs?
What?
Doesn't matter. He's not going to come when you call him.
Hey, speaking of the whole gay thing, just to take it back for a second. No, I was asking around because I
I
get
said a dog with no legs. Joel. Speaking of the whole gay thing.
No, because we were just talking about the gays.
No, yeah,
So,
we were.
You
That's
know,
true.
they're always adding letters to the LG, the freaking blah 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 blah. So I was asking around.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is LGBTQ plus D blah blah? Like,
ASP
what
type,
what
yeah.
does it mean? I've been asking all these people like around at work, and I can't get a straight answer out of anyone.
Do you know why women like to have sex with the lights off?
Oh, why?
Because they hate seeing men have a good time.
Oh my god.
Chuck's still recovering. He's
Hey, what
I
did
can literally hear the vomit in
Yeah.
his throat as he tries to read his joke.
what did I'll give you time, Chuck. What did one saggy boob say to the other saggy boob?
What?
If we don't get some support fast, people are going to start to think we're nuts.
Are you good now?
Where does the one-legged waitress work? IHOP.
You know what her name is?
What?
Eileen.
I knew I was gonna say it, but I don't know if
Do you know what her name is if
fuck
she's
it up.
Asian?
Irene.
Irene. What did the elephant say to the naked man?
What?
How do you eat with that thing?
That's
What does a
fucking
house
brilliant.
wear?
Wait, what?
What does a house wear?
What does a house wear?
A dress.
what's it?
Oh, there it is.
Oh, okay. What do you
Oh,
call a cheap
Jesus.
circumcision?
What?
A ripoff. Oh,
Oh, excuse me.
How do you measure a
what-
snake?
How?
How?
In inches. They don't have feet.
What does a vagina have in common with a chainsaw?
What?
You missed by an inch and you're in deep shit.
Oh shit. So one time I ran into my ex-girlfriend and she was trying to humiliate me in front of a bunch of her friends.
Mm.
So she said that I was useless in bed. You should have seen her face when they all disagreed.
Oh my god, that's terrible. What does tofu and a dildo have in common?
What?
They're both meat substitutes.
You know what the first rule of passive aggressive club is?
What?
You know what? No, never mind. Forget it.
Why
Do you
did
know
the bullet lose his
Go
job?
ahead. Bye.
Why?
He got fired.
Do you know what a freshman in high school and a linoleum floor have in common?
What?
You lay them right the first time, you can walk all over them the rest of your life.
So true.
Uh,
Till they climb through your doggy door. Anyway,
That's true.
what word starts with an E and ends with an E, but only has one letter in it?
Okay.
An
Go.
envelope.
Oh my god. You got
Hey,
I
did you,
literally was like, oh my god, I can't what? I was like trying to figure it out, and then you fucked me. You fucked me. You just straight up
But not with
why
the
don't you buy the cock block?
Oh, hey, I forgot. I do have an interesting fact too. I was
Okay.
supposed to do
Oh,
or joke
yeah.
thing.
And we're also supposed to get Chuck's answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my story
Got
about
all-
the hospital.
Let's wait till Marco's back
For what?
for all of it.
Okay.
Because we're
Sounds
already in
good.
big joke energy and we're over time.
Yeah,
We
over.
promised we didn't forget. I mean, we did forget, but we promised we won't forget next week.
Did you hear about the fire at the circus?
No.
What?
It was intense. Intense.
Hey,
I get it.
calling back to the old cock block. Is butt cheeks one word, or should I spread them apart?
Oh, okay. So I have a closer if you guys are ready.
Hit it.
Okay. A man is in a hot air balloon and realizes that he is lost. So he reduces the altitude and spots a man down below, lowers the balloon further down into shouting range and yells, "Excuse me, can you tell me where I am?" And the man on the ground says, "Yes, you are in a hot air balloon hovering 30 feet above this field." And the hot air balloonist says, "You must be an engineer." And the guy on the ground says, "I am. How did you know?" And the balloonist says, "Well, everything you've told me is technically correct, but is absolutely of no use to anyone." So the man on the ground says, "Well, you must be in management." And the guy in the balloon says, "I am, but how did you know?" And the guy on the ground says, "You don't know where you are or where you're going, but you expect me to be able to help you. You're in the same position you were before we met, but now it's my fault."
It's fucking a zinger on two fronts.
Oh my god,
That's a good one.
I love
That's
that
a good
joke.
one.
Anyway, oi. Well,
We'll play catch up next
we will have to
go
play
around.
catch up next go
Yes.
Hey, real quick.
yeah.
The guy who did those renderings last year of like all of us in like Christmas attire, like the cartoon.
No, he did our 3D graphics for War Stories and our 3D logos.
No. The
Yeah,
dude who
Chris.
did our faces.
Oh, the
Oh,
characters.
different guy.
Characters.
Okay.
Characters.
I believe. I think it was Unoriginal Doodler or something like
Yep.
that.
Absolutely.
Hey, if that's who you are, I think you follow me on my Instagram. Please reach out to me. I have something I'm working on. I want to work on, and it's a surprise. So get a hold of me, and I think you'll like it. So we'll come with some free shit.
No.
So
Okay.
get a hold of me.
All right. Well, get a hold of it.
Get a hold
now
of
with
him.
time.
Not
with
with
the
the
cock
cock. Not with the cock block.
That's fucking gross.
Oh my god. On that note, Dutch Rudder.
That's right.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ. I mean, no. It's no.
I'm still holding myself. You're just holding onto my arm.
But your shafts are touching.
No.
No. That's,
Oh, I thought you were talking about
fucking
Dutch ruddering with the cock block.
no, just a
Big
regular
thing.
fast
Regular old
Do I have to be here for this?
Probably not.
We'll see you in the locker room. You
my
guys keep
spit.
going.
Yeah.
No, you guys keep going. We'll see you in the locker room.
Okay. So anyway, what I was saying.
Yeah, just
What if you had the cock block, right? So we gotta picture this. So cock block. So you got two guys cock, shaft on shaft, but then you have two other guys Dutch
grabbing themselves
ring
and Dutch ruddering.
across the cock block.
I'm still here.
And then we gotta work in something. We gotta work in a prostate tickler.
If I leave, you guys can't.
It's gotta have a feather though, like a tail or something. Something crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Full vibrating plug.
If I leave,
you have to use the correct lube because you don't want to.
Now, are you a fan of silicone or water based?
oh my god.
I like water based.
Water based. It's better.
I don't like silicone.
Yeah, and it's just so it's just too chemically.
Yeah, I feel like I'm about to fuck some ball bearings.
You can't talk about
it's just
lubricants in the locker room.
Hey, they make a blend though. It's like I have to put it.